Right. So welcome to the Java real-time project using microservices architecture and React.js. Demo 1. Today is the demo 1. So the agenda for today is, let me explain you the course content, course structure, and also let me explain you the technical stack that we are using in this project. And also, if possible, let us start understanding the existing system design. First, let us go with the what is this program actually? What is this Java real-time project using microservices architecture program? Okay, the name of the project is Shopify platform, and it is for the retail e-commerce domain. And then type is full stack development. So there is a backend development, there is a front-end development. So let me showcase you one thing. Probably one moment. I checked the Shopify platform. Yes. So this is the architecture of the project that we're going to finally achieve. This is the final architecture that we're going to achieve. So if you can see here, there is a front-end applications, can be a web application, can be a mobile application, can be a point of sale missions as well, like POS missions. When we go to KFC, when we go to any of the restaurant, we can order our own, right? We can choose the items and then we can order our own. So whatever the applications, those applications should have to access our ecosystem, what we're gonna develop here. Okay, so this is the full stack development, meaning we will learn microservices architecture and then achieve this production architecture. Then we'll also do the integration with the React.js application, meaning we will build the React.js application from the scratch. That means I will explain complete React.js? No. React.js I won't explain, but the microservices and then the Spring Cloud and then the microservices patterns, right? All these things, then IAM, that is Identity and Access Management tool, all security, all this we'll discuss. I'll explain from the very beginning, very scratch, I'll explain. And once the ecosystem will be built like this ecosystem will be integrated with our React.js application. So that how we can set up the React.js application, how we can integrate the microservices with the React.js application, how we can enable the security, all those things I'll explain. We will do hands-on, but theoretically the React.js theory won't be covered here. Okay, right. So why we are telling full stack? Because we are doing the front-end development, we are doing the back-end development, right? So we are calling it as a full stack development. Right. Now the duration of this course is 40 days. Duration of this course is 60 days. Duration of this course is 60 days. And then the cloud platform we will use is the AWS. If we can see the production architecture, this is what our production architecture. Everywhere you can see VPC, right? AWS VPCs. These are, of course, VPC is just virtual private cloud concept. That's the concept of the cloud. But here especially we will use the AWS VPCs. And if you can see, only the gateway is in the public network. And then our microservices plus logging system, monitoring system, streaming system, right? Messaging bus, all are inside the private network. Microservices will be in private network. And our security tool also, security server is in the public network, and a gateway is in the public network, meaning fully secured, and only way for us to access our backend ecosystem is using this API gateway. No other way the services can't be accessed. Guys, can you please mute? I know whenever you joined, it will be unmute by default, but make sure that you will be mute. I'll give enough time for you to ask the questions for me. Okay, right. Right. So public network, we will create public subnet. There is a concept of subnets: public subnet, private subnet, virtual private cloud. So we will build our own virtual private cloud in the AWS. In that virtual private cloud, we will build our own network, like public network, private network. All our microservices will go into the private network, whereas the only gateway is there to access the applications. When gateway is there to access the services, and the gateway will be with the load balancer, of course, SSL certificates and all we will do here. Okay, the point is what we are using here: cloud platform. Our entire application, vShopify platform suite, will be deployed and then managed in the AWS cloud. So for this full stack development, whatever I have shown you, this architecture, right? In this architecture implementation, what are the technical stack that we are using? So Spring Boot, 2.x, microservices architecture, Spring Cloud, Docker, and AWS. So this is the backend, meaning the technologies or the tech stack we will use to develop this backend, in the sense this complete ecosystem. Whatever I am now showcasing you, this complete ecosystem we will develop using the Spring Boot, microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker, and AWS. Because AWS is the deployment platform, plus AWS S3 bucket we will use as our storage. I'll explain why, and then where we will use the storage and all I'll explain. The backend stack is the Spring Boot, microservices architecture, Spring Cloud, Docker, and AWS. Also, we will use the identity and an access management server called Keycloak. In this architecture diagram, you can see this is WSO2. WSO2 is little heavy server. So lightweight server, which is perfectly suitable for the microservices architecture, is what the Keycloak. So we will use what? Keycloak as well. Keycloak IDEM or Keycloak IDP we will use. What is this Keycloak, sir? We are not able to get it, meaning we are not able to understand what is this Keycloak and all. We are listening new terminologies. Maybe if that is your question, don't worry. I'll make you to, hands on this Keycloak server, at least to the level use in any of the projects. Not, I'm saying not professional level, but definitely you will feel comfortable wherever you see the Keycloak in any of the projects. So that level will go. So no Kubernetes deployment here. All are Docker containers. So this course covers Docker, but not the Kubernetes. So if you can see, all these are all the Docker containers. So we are running them as the Docker containers inside our private VPC, meaning VPC private subnet. So all are Docker containers. You can see everywhere, all are Docker containers, except this identity server. Remaining all are Docker containers. So you will learn at the professional level here how the Docker and all. I'll explain from the scratch what is Docker and all. Guys, can you please mute? I'm requesting all of you, please mute. I'll definitely provide some time to clarify your questions if you have any. But let me first explain you the concept of it, right? So you have joined by taking your time or by giving your valuable time to me. So let me take an opportunity to explain whatever I thought to do, right? So then definitely we will discuss the question and answer survey. Fine. So Keycloak IDP we will use here. This is the Keycloak IDP. And of course, the security concepts like JWT, OAuth, OAuth2, JWT, OpenID, and social logins. These are all we'll discuss for sure. Okay. So the idea is what? We already have the existing system. We already have the existing system. So let me showcase you the existing system that was developed way back. Now that existing system, we need to convert into microservices architecture with the rebranding, with the redesign and all. Let me showcase you the existing system, how it is now. And then that existing system we need to convert, meaning we need to convert into microservices architecture. So this is what the existing system 8080/V Shopify platform. So this is what the existing application. Let me log in with the admin, super admin. Yeah, so when we have been logged in, so we can see this application. There are a lot of modules here. These all we will discuss going forward. But the idea is what? This is the legacy application, of course, implemented using Spring Boot only, but this is the monolith architecture. Sir, what is monolith architecture? I'll explain. Don't worry. So from there we will start. From the scratch we will start. But I'm just explaining you, setting you the agenda, what we're going to do. And this application, for this application, we need to develop the front-end application with a new design, like how I am now showing. 1 minute, maybe the port conflict will come because this port number is also same, I believe. Yeah, port conflict came. Let me quickly change the port numbers. Okay, so let me quickly change the port. Let me take 5001. Okay, and then let me start it. Let me start it. I can stop that are all listening on 5001. 5001 web server 5001 is also already in use in my machine. Let me take 5050. Okay, so let me just start it. Meaning I would like to showcase you now how we have to design the new application using the React.js 5050. So let me take another new tab and then type localhost 5050. Let me just type it. So this is the new design. This is the new design. Let me log in here. Be Shopify admin@mail.com and let me log in here. Yeah, so this is the new design that we need to develop using the Angular. So just for showcasing you or what is the agenda, how we can do, I just have done this in the Spring Boot, but the same UI we need to achieve in the React.js. So here you can see the profile who have been logged in and customers. We can see the customers. Like see here we have the customers and here we have the customers. And you can see the orders here. And here we have the orders, right? Current status, new order, track order, shipment status. But here orders doesn't contain anything, just order information it is displaying, right? And if we go back to the products, so products, trending products, new arrivals, visual try, virtual try, but now just it is having the view all products or maybe create new product, and of course export it to a file formats like CSV and all, right? So that is like this. So trending products, new arrivals, virtual try. And if we can see the categories, so there is a category, and here the categories are like categories, parent categories, what are the new categories arrived, right? So all these things, the complete UI revamping we have to do. And then next is the dashboard. So finance dashboard, sales dashboard. By default here, we are able to see the sales dashboard, right? Similarly, once we log in here, we have to see the finance dashboard or maybe sales, both. My bad. Just let me log in one more time. The Shopify admin@vibopmail.com, and let me use the password and then log in. Perfect. Okay, so here dashboard is not displayed by default. Probably dashboard. Yeah, by default, as soon as we have been logged in, it is not showing. Okay, it is showing directly this users, but a dashboard also should be displayed. So here are the wireframes, new design wireframes. So let me open the wireframes. So this is what the new design. So you can see the revenue board where we can see the finance and then the sales reports completely. Okay. Now, what is the target for us? Existing system we have. So that existing system, we have to convert into the microservices architecture. But before doing that, let us even little go about this course structure. So backend, Spring Boot, microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker, AWS, Keycloak, IDP we will use. And front end, React.js, React hooks, and then Redux we will use. Okay, so whatever the UI, revamped UI, I have shown you. This revamped UI, we have to build in the React.js. We can build it, it's not so big deal. We can build it, right? But the expectation is to have everything in the React.js. And from the React.js application, the RESTful calls, REST calls should have to give to our ecosystem. Secure REST calls should have to give into our ecosystem by supplying the tokens. However, we'll discuss about that in coming up sessions. So what are the prerequisites? As we're going to use complete Java 8 concepts in this, complete Java 8 concepts, like maybe we'll use the streams, we'll use the, filters, we will use the map, we will use the, whatnot, all the Java 8 concepts we will use, at least Java 8 features we will use, right? But we will use the Java 11 JDK. Java 11 JDK we will use as our runtime and the development kit. But the concepts, Java 8 features we will use. If I would like to write a for loop, then I will use the Java 8 feature and then write the for loop. If I want to filter out some results from the map, or if I want to take some processing on some set and then take the end result, then I may go for the Java 8 features. But unlike our regular development, I don't do. So you must have the Java 8 features knowledge or experience. And as this is now the pure project batch. No theoretical discussions will be there, of course, except microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker, this. So the prerequisite is Spring Core, Spring MVC, and Spring Boot. So Spring Boot is must and should prerequisite for this. If you don't know Spring Boot, maybe it is little difficult for you guys to do the development, because I won't explain from the scratch what is Spring Boot, how the Spring Boot. No, I won't explain from the scratch, because the intention is complete project development, and it is little challenging for me to complete this in 60 days, right? I have to better manage the things by covering the microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker. These are all theoretical concepts. I have to implement this within the 60 days. So it is a biggest challenge for me. So that's the reason the guys who have the Spring Boot experience or the knowledge, so this program has been suitable for them. Okay, right. So who have the knowledge or the experience on the Spring Boot and Java, yes, definitely this is the right course for them. And the folks who don't have the Spring Boot knowledge or experience, this may be little tough for them, because I definitely not gonna explain Spring Boot from scratch. But if you don't know Spring Boot, if you're able to follow the videos, and if you wish to join this project, yes, you can join this project, but you have to complete the Spring Boot videos as well. Maybe daily 1 or 2 videos you have to go through and complete. Fine. So total the plan of development is, I hope you now got what is the prerequisite, right? Spring Boot should be the must and should prerequisite, guys. If you don't know Spring Boot, but if you wish to join this project, go and then take the Spring Boot videos, follow them, and then come back here. Or else join the batch, this project batch, continue, but parallelly go through the Spring Boot videos. Okay. The total sprints are 8, meaning 8 weeks. We have the 60 days, meaning 8 weeks. So each sprint is for 1 week. The development and then unit testing will spend 6 sprints, and deployment and then functional testing will spend 1 sprint. Why 1 sprint? We will spend sprint in the sense 1 week, you assume. 6 weeks we'll spend on the development. 1 week we'll spend on setting up this private cloud in AWS. In AWS, we have to set up the private cloud, and we have to purchase. I already have purchased 1 domain. So we need to configure that domain, and we need to configure the load balancer, and we need to deploy the microservices as Docker containers in the private network. So there is a lot of infra setup we need to do. And once everything got set up, then we need to do a 1 round of end-to-end functional testing. So that is the reason 1 week complete will spend on the functional testing and then the deployment. Then another week I given here bug fixing and maintenance. This may not be the case that we will get. If not, then this week also let us add in the development. So 7 weeks we'll do the development. 1 week we'll do the production deployment. Okay. And class timings every day, Monday to Friday, it is 8:15 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. 1 hour. But on Saturday or Sunday, if the working peoples are there, and if you feel like 5 days is tied, then let us have every Sunday a 3 hours of session, maybe from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or maybe 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So at or maybe 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., like 4 hours. If we can spend every Sunday 3 to 4 hours, then whatever the pendings and whatever the new microservice that we need to develop in this week, for example, this Sunday we will start development, assume. This Sunday we will discuss about the microservices that we need to develop. Then what we will do, we'll discuss about the microservices architecture, how it will be, and all the microservices patterns, anti-patterns, and all, how the microservice should be. And then we'll start a development, and we'll continue the development in the further week as well. Not only one microservice, maybe we'll set up 5 to 6 microservices as our agenda. Maybe we will achieve 3 to 4 microservices implementation, and then the whatever we not implemented, we'll move to the next sprint, meaning next week. Purely let us follow the agile methodology. And I'll also take one project management tool. We already have one tool called Bittrex. If possible, I will enable that. Otherwise, let us manage through these work documents only. But this is the development and then the deployment plan. So development is maybe 6 to 7 weeks. And then the production deployment is for the 1 week. So once this production deployment is done, then your batch will be closed. Okay, so that is what. Next. Yeah. No, here don't confuse folks, please. I said only experience or the knowledge required on Spring Boot. So microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker, and AWS Private Cloud, Keycloak, this I'll explain from very scratch. So if anyone don't have the Spring Boot knowledge or experience, you are also can join here, but purchase videos, Spring Boot videos, maybe of my other batches, or maybe any of your other faculties, if you know, or anywhere. What my point is, purchase the videos, parallelly go through. Let's say tomorrow we have the microservices class. Today complete 1 or 2 videos. So that parallelly you also will be able to finish the Spring Boot while the project is going on. Okay, that is one suggestion I can give. Right. Obviously, JDBC, Solid, JSP, all those things should be come. Meaning the guys who are coming to this project, I'm expecting Solid, JSP, JDBC, those are all already completed. Even Spring also completed. See, Spring Boot also completed. That is what my expectation. Right. So this is suitable for those guys because this is very advanced level of development. But 100% it will help you. Once you done this course, you will attend interviews. You will crack the interviews like anything, for sure. However, fee and all the details admin will disclose you to. However, I think so far we discussed is good, right? You may got little idea. Remember what we gonna do? We gonna implement this production architecture. So these are all the microservices. And here is the UI. The UI will be integrated with the backend microservices. Microservices should have to be deployed in a private network. And microservices should be exposed over only the API gateway. API gateway should be attached on the load balancer. API gateway should be accessible over the load balancer. The load balancer should be terminated with the SSL certificate, right? And then there is a security identity and access management tool called Keycloak. I think I can showcase you the Keycloak tool as well. Just in case, maybe you already knows. Maybe if you don't know, also, I think this, I don't have the tool, meaning the IAM server downloaded at this moment. So you can check here, Keycloak. So key cloak is the IDP. This is the IDP we're gonna use for our security, identity, and then access management. I'll explain where we will use this identity and access management, how it will be. This is the key cloak server we will use for identity and then access management. Don't worry, if you don't know all these things, don't worry, I'll explain everything, right? Yes, CQRS, Kubernetes is not covered. CQRS, Saga pattern, all will be covered. All will be covered. So I think let me complete this one. Okay, so all the material access, all the soft copy of the project implementation guides and material will be shared, and class video recordings will be provided with the validity of 4 months. If your course will be completed in 2 months, then further 2 more months you will get the videos access. If the course will be prolonged due to any of the reason, how many days it will be prolonged? For example, 75 days, assume. Then into 2, that means 150 days, you will get the videos access. So videos access with the read-only permissions. You can't download the videos. So you can view the videos, but you can't download the videos. You can't share those videos as well. So viewable permissions, with the viewable permissions, you will get the videos with the validity of 4 months. After 4 months, the videos will get expired. And of course, due to any other reason, if you have not completed your practice within this 4 months also, in the exceptional case, I may provide 1 more month access, meaning I may request the backend admin team to provide 1 more month access as well. Okay, but that is an exceptional case. Fine. Now, daily 1 hour session, but weekend, we must have to spend weekend either on Sunday, either on Saturday. I prefer to spend on Sunday because Saturday we will be tired, right? 5 days we will attend the classes. 5 days maybe you guys will attend the office. Maybe you will get little tired on Saturday. Take rest on Saturday. Let us connect on Sunday, like from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., just 3 hours. Let us do the planning. Let us do the pending development. Let us complete the sprint for that week, and then let us start the new sprint. Right? So waterfall model, I'll explain what is waterfall model, what is agile and all. I'll explain. Maybe you also get practiced. Rather than discussing much theory on it, we will practice it, meaning we will use it. So you definitely will know about this agile development, how it will be, right? However, yeah, so far any questions? You can unmute yourself and then you can ask me the questions. So far, just I explained the course content, not course content, but course motto I explained, and prerequisites I explained. Any question for me so far? Any doubts if you have, you can ask me. If any question you have so far. Any questions? Okay, one question I have not answered. Yeah, you can't unmute. Let me do one thing. Let me allow the permissions to unmute all. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Now you can unmute yourself.
Myself. Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So sir,
yes.
I have
able to hear you.
Okay. Are you going to cover CQRS and Saga pattern in project? First question. And second, are you also going to cover Kubernetes as well, like deploying microservices on Kubernetes? These 2 questions I have. That's it.
Okay. Yes. So CQRS, Saga, definitely I'll cover. Okay, I'll showcase what I will cover. Just in a moment of time, I'll showcase. And the second question, Kubernetes won't be covered. Only Docker containers. Till the Docker containers will cover. Kubernetes, I don't cover. Let me showcase you what I can cover. So I think you guys are able to see my screen.
No,
right?
sir. I know your content you have already seen. Like, since this is end-to-end project, now 1 or 2 classes overview will be helpful to students like us. It's not
That's true.
like you
That's
have
true.
already
That's
shared the
true.
content. I know. Yeah. I mean, it's a request. If you can
Yeah,
add,
yeah.
it's up to you.
See this? See this: CQRS, Saga, Apache Kafka, Redis caching, database patterns, resilience forge, microservices security, observable patterns, cross-cutting concerns, and then the integration patterns. So these will be covered in this course.
Yes, sir. Actually, I attended
Saga,
your
CQ.
microservices pattern course already. So I was working
Okay.
Kubernetes there, but there was also time issue, right? And so I thought in this, if you can manage, that's fine. Anyway, sir, yes, still content is good, very good. Those are additional things I wanted. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. If possible, we'll try. Right. So what is the system requirements? I'll explain about system requirements. Sir, being your old student, some suggestion. Today, just to generate mode. Okay. Sure. 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 Let me increase delivery speed also. Yeah, sure. So project management tool, let me use Bittrex. What about React? I told React we will use, right? React JS 18.x, whatever the latest React JS 18.x, that we will use. React theory, I won't explain. React theory, I won't explain. Directly, I will start creating the React JS project, and directly let us start, preparing our design, meaning our dashboard design. That is also one of the tasks I added. If we can go here, one of the tasks I added, home page design and all. So what I can suggest you is this project, you can showcase till maximum of 4 to 5 years experience as well. If you thoroughly practice, if you thoroughly followed me, this is an equivalent to 4 to 5 years experience of knowledge. The other things, I don't know how the other things can be manageable by you, but this course content and then this course quality is up to 4 to 5 years experience level of knowledge, 100%. There is no doubt at all. And here we are also using the cross-cutting technologies. Like if you can see here, Kafka streaming service we are using for one use case, that is Saga implementation and CQRS. And you can see the RabbitMQ as well. RabbitMQ message broker we will use in the case of the Spring Bus. So lot of advanced technologies we are using here, right? And especially Keycloak. Keycloak, you may not have been worked on it maybe earlier, but you will love it. The identity and access management tool here, right? So, and we also use the L4 layer 4 load balancer, that is network load balancer we will use here, layer 4 load balancer. Coming to system requirements, it is suggestible to have 8 GB RAM minimum, and then with the 4 vCPUs or 2 vCPUs. 16 GB RAM is good, but 8 GB RAM is compulsory. Minimum 8 GB RAM you need to maintain. The machine with the 8 GB RAM is definitely required, right? So any questions, any more questions for me before I jump to this course content, meaning the further content? Any questions for me, any more?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
We can develop CRM tool. One moment. I'm going through the doubts that the folks are asking in the chat. Parsuram asked Kafka, Grafana. That's what I'm telling you. Kafka and then Grafana will use. See this production architecture. In this production architecture, what is there? So we are using Kafka, Grafana, Prometheus, Jipkin, RabbitMQ, EFK or ELK, right? So this is we are using. Yeah, now someone is trying to ask me the questions. Ask your question.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Vikas this side. So, are you cover first microservices or React one?
It is parallel development, but mostly I will cover first microservices, but I'll prefer to go with the parallel development. So
Okay.
parallel development in the sense, first we will set up our admin home page and all, whatever the design I have shown you. This dashboard, let us first set up using the React. And then next I'll explain the plan, like how I will go. But for your question, the short answer is yes. First, I will cover the microservices, and then next I will integrate that microservice with the React.js. So my thought in my mind is, I want to go service by service. One service is completed, then integrate it with the UI. One service completed, integrate it with the UI. So that is what my thought.
Okay, and sir,
Right? Yeah. Any more questions?
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Are you covering security as well?
Yes, security also covering here. So I maybe you joined little late. I already have answered that. See this key cloak we are using. Key cloak is a identity and access management server using which we can this we can use as a identity and access management server using the Spring security. We can develop, meaning OAuth2 framework, and then OpenID protocol, and then the social logins, that federated authentications, and all we can implement on this identity server. So yes, security we are using.
Okay,
Any
sir.
more questions? Yeah.
No, sir.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yes.
Actually, sir, I'm
Yeah.
working in a Cognizant as a Java developer, having 1.8 years of experience, but no knowledge in microservices and basic knowledge of Spring Boot. So, sir, can I showcase this project in my resume as 2 years of experience after completing this project?
Easily you can showcase. Easily you can showcase after
thing more, sir.
completing this project.
Yeah. So, sir, here we are using multi-threading concept or collection Java 8 features in this project.
Correct. Java 8 features, collections, and all we will use. Multi-threading concept is actually, there is no use case here. Multi-threading concepts will be used in the case of, kind of app bookings and all.
Okay. So,
But
sir,
there is no kind of.
Can you help me, like in interviewer was asking like questions like where you use multi-threading, where you use Java 8 feature in your project, where you use collection. So can you help me like to solve the to give the all the answers in interview, like where we use multi-threading, like interviewer nowadays
100%. If you 100, if you can see this coding, 1 minute.
What?
Let me answer you.
Okay.
If you can see this coding, all your questions will be resolved actually. It's where we are using the collections, how we are using the collections, right? What is the use case for it? We can easily, meaning you can easily answer those questions. That's not a big deal. But the only thing is what multi-threading use case is not covered in our project, but I'll take it as a separate open session. Some order booking we can take, and then that use case I'll explain maybe separately at runtime, if time permit. But other than the multi-threading, the other concepts we can use, meaning you can see this coding, you can easily explain them, like, where you used collections, where you use list, why you need to use list, why can't you use set? All these questions you can answer. May I answer your question?
Okay, yeah.
And sir, I'm asking this transaction management also can we use in this project, or can you in each and every transaction management?
Correct. If you can see my screen, yes, transaction management we will use on each and every microservice, but those are the local transactions. To have the distributed transactions, we will use the Saga pattern. So, but local transactions, yes, we will use the transaction management also. Okay, right. Yeah. At the rate transactional, at the rate transaction also we will use that. At the rate transaction is just an annotation, right? Which is capability to it. Right. Any more questions for me? Any more questions?
I have one question.
Okay, just give me a moment. JUnit or Marketo. So we'll use both JUnit and Marketo. Both we will use for the unit testing purpose. JUnit, Marketo, both we will use. Yeah. Now ask your question. You are asking something.
Hello.
Sir, actually, I'm attending from USA. So I would like to know about the timings, like your timings from 8:15 to 9:15, exactly 1 hour class, so that
Exactly
I can
1 hour.
schedule to. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I wanted to know that is there any places in this project where we are using asynchronous RESTful services?
Obviously, we'll use reactive programming. We'll use in gateway. We'll use reactive programming. Yes,
Okay.
asynchronous microservice communication, that is asynchronous. We'll use Saga, and then we'll use the CQRS. See, this asynchronous communication we will use. For example, category service is required to this product service, and products are required to order service. The categories are updated. The product also keeping the categories inside in it. We are using MongoDB, I believe here, if you can see here. So the MongoDB will be get updated with the categories silently, whereas the product service is still can be able to access with all other operations. Yes, asynchronous communication among the REST services we will use. Right? Any more questions? Any
Okay.
questions?
And sir, one thing, if the person, if they don't know the front end in a good way, just if he knows a little bit, is he cope up all the things you will explain as part of this project?
Okay, let me tell the expectation clearly. What I'm telling is the persons who wish to join this project batch, they must have the knowledge or experience on the Java 8, Spring Core, MVC, and Spring Boot. Must and should. Whereas I will explain from very scratch microservices, Spring Cloud, Docker, Keycloak, AWS only VPCs concepts, not all. VPCs, load balancers, and that concepts. So this I will explain from very scratch. Though you don't know, no problem. But the prerequisite is compulsory Java 8, Spring Core, MVC, and then Spring Boot. This is mandatory, compulsory. Okay, compulsory. Again, I won't, meaning it is highly impossible to cover all these things and then the project within 60 days. No, honestly speaking, it is not possible, right? So that's the reason. The prerequisite is compulsory Spring Boot. Yeah, any more questions?
What about the React.js?
So these are all backend technology you are telling to have these technologies. It is a mandatory. But for the
Correct.
front end, I'm asking, like here we'll be using React, right? So you will explain a little bit basics for the front end technologies, or
while learning, meaning while we are setting up the project, I'll explain why we are using this. Why we are using this command, or what is component, or what is state, and where we can set the state and all. I'll explain. But theoretically, what is React.js? History of the React.js. Theoretically, I don't explain. I don't cover this theoretically, but practically, yes. For example, we want to use Redux as a token store. I'll explain what is Redux and how we can use it. So that I believe no separate theoretical things are required to you, because we are working on the practical things directly. So you can take any of the book and then cope up the theoretical things. But theory, I won't explain. Complete practical, I'll explain. Meaning practically we will do. For example, React.js application we would like to set up. So just I will, explain you how we can set up this React.js, like installing the Node.js, installing the Node package managers, other installations, and then type this command to create the React application. And React application structure, I will explain what are the components are on it, and then where we can change, how we can change them, right? And then like that, I'll explain. But theoretically, there were little theory around it, right? So that theory I won't cover. Make sense? Got it?
yeah, and as part of the session, the code you will be written. So all the source code will be posted to any repository, and in the repository, will we have the access?
Yes.
And I mean, you will share the access.
Repository access, correct. Source code repository access will be
one more time as part of the tomorrow's session. I feel one more revision is there, then we can connect.
Guys, can you please unmute? It is just a okay.
Tomorrow
Fine.
we can close the client API. What do you
Hey,
think?
who is
guys?
this? Hey, Kapil, what do you want to do here? Yeah, thanks a lot. Finally. Okay. So, yes, the source code will be pushed to the GitLab source code repository, and I will add you as a members there. And videos access, how long the videos access will be? Till that time, the source code access will be given. After the videos access expired, the source code access also get expired. So that means after your course completion, minimum 2 months, the source code access will be there. And at the end of your course, on the final day or maybe before 1 week, I will push everything to the repository. So from there you can access it, and then you can download, and then you can keep it with you. But after 2 months of your course completion, I will remove the access for all of you folks on that repository.
So, so the recording session can be downloadable.
No, recordings are viewable. Recordings are not downloadable. Recordings are not shareable. Recordings are only viewable. Whereas the material can be downloadable, material can be shareable, and source code can be downloadable, but not the recordings. So the material, whatever I provide here, so this all the material you can download, right? But the recordings are not downloadable, not shareable. They are just viewable. Okay, fine.
Okay, sir.
Any more questions for me? Okay, great. If
If
no
we-
questions,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, yes, able to hear you.
Yeah, I think every day we are, once the session is over, we need to practice it. Am I right?
Correct, correct.
But if any doubt is there in the practice, who is going to support to us?
Yeah. So I'll create one Telegram group. Okay. So while practicing, if any doubts or if you stuck anywhere, you can ping me in the Telegram group. I will reply in the Telegram group. And also your other teammates also will be there in the Telegram group. If I delayed in responding, if others were already done that, they might give you the reply. So we will build a common communication platform. On that, let us have the doubts clearance section, and any questions, if anything else for me, you can post me directly.
Okay. So normally how much time every day session to practice, how much time it is required?
It depends actually, because few members already videos are there for you. So by looking into that videos, it's up to you actually. Maybe I can't tell that, because listening is different, practicing is different. While practicing, assume I maybe set up something in the video recording, it might be there, but you forgot while you are doing. Then what will happen? It may take little time for you to resolve why that issue got, and then what. So it depends actually. Exactly how much time you have to practice is we can't say, but 3 hours of practice, maybe 2 hours of practice is required every day. 2 to 3 hours of practice is required every day.
Is there any work need to homework like that in practice? Like
Correct. Yes. I will set up the tickets, task tickets. I will assign the task tickets. See, there are around 8 modules. These 8 modules, explanation, 8 modules in the sense 8, each and every module is one microservice. So developing this 8 modules by me only, is little tough. What I will do, for example, I'll start this identity and access management, then maybe user management, and then the customer management. Both managements we have, user management and then customer management. User management, I'll explain, meaning while I'm developing the user management microservice, you guys will develop the customer management microservice. Okay. For example, while I'm developing the category management microservice, you guys will develop the brand microservice. So all the project documentation I will provide you. What is this brand microservice? What it may contains? What it will accept? What is the fields? All those things I'll provide. Okay. So while I am working on one service, you guys start working on another service. That way, parallelly, your practice also will be parallelly. It will be completed. Got it?
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay. That's all for today, folks. Thanks a lot for your valuable time. And yeah, can we do yeah, correct. Yeah, you can do a parallel coding, right? Any fallback mechanism and retry mechanism, obviously, na, you can see here resilience 4J. What is the benefit of resilience 4J? In order to enable that retry and then fallbacks only. I believe you can see my classroom here. See, resilience 4J. Why we use this resilience 4J? For the retry and then fallback mechanisms. Correct? So yes, fallback and don't
Yeah,
worry, all the
the-
microservices related patterns, anti-patterns, 100% will be covered here, right? Like retrying, fallbacks, and then all other patterns, like, the configuration management, external configuration management, service discovery, API gateway, all these things will be covered.
Sir,
demo
right.
session is only for
Sir,
today, or it will continue
Daily,
for
daily.
another? Sorry.
Daily, the session from today is the first demo.
Okay.
30th is the first demo. From today to Saturday, let us have the continuous demos, 4 demos. And next week also, Monday to Wednesday, 3 demos, total 7 demos. After that, we will start our new link. Demos meaning, in these demos, what we will do is, we will do this system design, requirements gathering and all. Whatever I highlighted, in these demos, we will do this. Like project concept, modules, use cases discussion, understanding the functional requirements, understanding the technical requirements, understanding the user interfaces. So in these demos, we will discuss all these things, and then we will develop the documentation. We will write the documentation, project documentation we will do. Once the demo is done, then let us start our DB design, how the DB design will be. And then let us also start the project architecture design and all. I already have designed, but again, I will one more time draw in front of you once after the demos are done. Then software installation and then project setup. So from the project setup, once the project setup is done, from here you consider 60 days. So once the project setup is done, from there you consider 60 days, right? Don't include demos also inside the 60 days, right? Any questions for me?
It will.
Can we use RabbitMQ? Yeah, I don't know. Actually, the peoples are joining little late, or you are not able to see my screen. See this, RabbitMQ is here. RabbitMQ and Kafka, both we are using, but in 2 different purposes we are using here. Correct? Na? Right.
And
Any more
sir,
questions?
yeah, sir, will you use any kind of system design tool? Like, I mean, this designing you will draw in front of us, or I mean,
Yeah,
is there
in
any
front
kind
of
of
you.
predefined wireframe?
Yeah. Actually, I'm using draw.io tool to draw this architectures and all.
So will
So
you
I'm
learn
using.
will you teach that? I mean, as part of this, will learn that system designing drawing, or it is just
Yeah.
predefined drawing you will explain?
Yeah, actually, while I'm drawing, you just observe what are the tools, what are the components in the draw that I'm using. You just see that. But in front of you guys, I will draw this. Already I drawn it, but little changes are required to do here. So again, the same architecture we will draw with little modifications. Here in this architecture, I need to change here it as a key cloak, and this VPCs here, if you can see, all 2 to 3, 4 VPCs I have taken, rather only 1 VPC we will take. So little changes are here. So those changes I'll draw in front of you guys.
So will you share this draw.io file, or you will just share in terms of any image?
Yes, this PDF I will share. From draw.io, once the architecture design is done, I'll export it as a PDF, and then the PDF will be shared to you.
Can it be possible to share the .io, because as part of the project, whatever we will learn, later point of time also we can just modify few things based on our requirement, so that we can use as part of the project and we can explain it very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that is sure. That is also possible. It's not a
Okay,
big deal.
Sir,
I can share.
thank you, sir.
sir, as part of the AWS, apart from S3, will you explain even Lambda related service or any other things, sir?
No. We are not using that stateless. So apart
Okay,
from
okay.
S3, what I will explain is I will explain VPC. I will explain VPC concepts. I'll explain the load balancers concept. I'll explain the Route 53 concept. That's it. VPC, load balancers, Route 53, certificate manager, and S3. So these
Okay.
5 services I'll explain.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So do we have this project like admin module and user module?
That I will explain. What are all the modules that we have? What is the project? How it will be? That going forward we will see. There were 4 personas. We have 4 roles. We have. So one is the super admin, second one is the salesperson, third one is the shipper, fourth one is the editor. Like that, we have the 4 personas. So this is our database. Probably you able to see the database.
Are you
Are we
covering
using
GCP?
sir, are we using MongoDB or someone means Oracle?
MongoDB also. Yes, MongoDB also. MongoDB also. If you can see this architecture is using MySQL, MongoDB. And here, I think it is the GraphDB, but I'm not sure about this. MongoDB and then MySQL we are using. We will use MongoDB and then MySQL. I mentioned here. Series. MySQL.
Sir, one
extend
question. Since you have already shown the code, right? You have. So, are we going to like we have covered in existing microservice pattern? We were migrating the project, right, from monolithic to microservice. That time we were just taking those code and using it in our requirement. Are we going to write line by line code here, or will we use existing code?
No. Line by line, I will write. This
All right.
existing code is just for our reference.
Okay.
How the existing code is, but we will do a line by line.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, is there an in-course content? Are you covering GCP?
No, actually, GCP is different cloud, na? So I'm only covering the AWS, not GCP.
AWS,
GCP is a different cloud platform.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, the agenda is what, once this project is completed, I will start Kubernetes batch, Kubernetes course. Definitely, most of you guys will also be joined there. That is a separate paid batch. So most of you guys will intend to join there as well. At that moment, I'll cover GCP, meaning how we can deploy, setup, and everything in the GCP, and then how we can deploy the things in GCP, meaning Kubernetes cluster setup in GCP, and then deploying the things in the GCP. But during this course, Kubernetes plus GCP is completely out of the box. Only Docker and then the AWS platform. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
And someone asked me the question. So these are all the roles we have, and this is our system diagram. If you can see, not this one. Shopify platform. Not this one. This is our database tables. Monolithic application. That's the reason you can see this one. But once we converted into the microservices, maybe the things get changed. But this is what the ER diagram, entity relations diagram. I'll explain. So because I added one concept here, one topic also I added, database design. So existing database design, how it is, let us understand. And then using existing design, how we can decompose this existing database into the microservices thing. That also we'll discuss using this database patterns. I have not uploaded notes here, but using database patterns, we will understand the existing database design, and then let us decompose it to our microservices architecture. So I'll explain all those things. Okay. Makes sense, right? Any questions for me? Right. Okay. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot. And
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Where
yes.
can I get the Spring Boot tutorials? To whom I need to contact?
Okay.
There
Contact
are lots
admin.
of search in YouTube, man.
Correct. There is a lot of source in YouTube you can see, or any other platforms also you can see. If you wish to purchase my courses, my Spring Boot videos, then you can contact Durgasoft admin team, or you can purchase any of the other faculties videos in any other institute. That doesn't matter. You can get them everywhere. Nowadays it is common.
I'm asking your videos.
Yeah, my videos, you can contact our admin, our admin team. So you can see the message that are pinging by our admin team, right? Mobile numbers they were given. Contact number they were given, not given. Yeah, contact the number they were given. So you can contact to that numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, fine. Okay, thanks a lot, folks. That's all for today. It's time to jump to the office work. And tomorrow I will explain. Tomorrow, let us start project. That means existing application. Let us try to understand each and every application, each and every module. How many modules? First of all, how many roles, how many users we have? Each and every user when logged in, how the dashboard is, and the dashboard contains how many modules. Each and every module, what it is doing. So this project concept, use cases, and documentation. So let us start understanding that tomorrow. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time, and see you tomorrow at the same time. That is 8:15 a.m. IST. Thanks a lot. What other courses you are teaching? Okay, I'll explain tomorrow. I think it's time to log off for today. See you guys. See you tomorrow at the same time.